avoid water for a little bit. Because when I was recording that little stint on the water, that was boring. that was 45 minutes of me sitting there pressing the forward key and hoping that there was going to be no earthquakes. Why am I mining? Oh, they're button heads. That's so cool. I love the goats. I really think that Mojang should incorporate Dr. Zark's Mo creatures into Minecraft. That would just... It would make so much sense. I mean, it's not like the creatures are totally out of balance. They're pretty well made. And there's a little too many animals compared to the critters that they add. But it works. That all the animals and the few beasts, the few enemy beasts that they add are really good. I don't know. That's that's exactly what I think, you know. One last piece of steak. I wonder if lamb chops are instant eat items still. That's from Contron's mobs. I'm not hungry, so they're not instant eat. I am thirsty, or getting thirsty. I'll boil up some water, and yeah, there we go. I've got rid of a lot of excess inventory. I do have pretty good tools up to this point. I should be making a bow and keeping some arrows on me. Hey, little guy. Little goat. Here you go. Here, eat that. Eat it. Eat. Eat it. Eat it. Eat it. This is really more steak than I could use, so. Alright, let's pick this up. Get the water out. I am now a carnivore. Alright, so let me continue heading out a little bit further, see if I can find some wool from sheep, and then I'll be able to rest, because if I'm not able to rest at night, it makes for some long nights just sitting here defending my position. And there's the flaky thing, and I'm actually finding that is somehow from OptiFine, because that is the only thing that modifies graphics in here. Because if I play, like, for instance, the new snapshot that came out last week, you know, the one with the new height settings and new village stuff and stuff like that, everything is fine. The snow does not kind of jitter like that. And yeah, so it's kind of weird. I've been tweaking the options and testing it on another world that I have, and it doesn't seem to be doing anything. So I don't know what precisely is causing it, but I'm continuing to adjust and trying to figure it out. I mean, really, my biggest issue is I have a crappy computer, and that's my fault. You know, I just need to get a new computer at some point. Unfortunately, no affordee. So we are in the middle of... we're approaching 54,000. What I was going to say is we're in the middle of the TV spring season. And I've been watching quite a few television shows. And sometimes I don't actually watch them when they're on. We record them with our DVR. And among the shows I like to watch are House. If you've ever watched House, it's been going on for 8 years. And the trend I noticed there is the character House has put himself through the ringer so many times and come into conflict with so many people that this TV show has kind of missed a direction, I guess. It is still a good show, but it just seems they're kind of not developing anybody. Everybody has been kind of calcified, I guess. They're statues of their characters now. And nobody has really kind of changed in any sort of way. Nobody has taken anything away from their experiences. And if they did, it seems to be artificial because everybody seems the same. They still act the same. They still have the same problems with one another. And they've added two new characters, two female lead characters, who are unique. And I see changes in them, but they're so new that you kind of expect changes, and you don't know where the direction of their characters are going to. Anyway, I think they need to not only end the show, because I think it's run its course, but they need some sort of ultimate resolution for House. Is he going to become the human everybody wants him to be, you know? Or is he always just going to be House? Because that's what it always seems to be pointing to, is that he's always just going to be House. He's going to be a cynical genius who is just at odds with the world because people are ridiculous. I mean, I like the character. I agree with many of his points. But he's not going anywhere. I think it's time to kind of, realize that he's just going to be who he is. And, just you're not going to be able to change him. But I would like for him to ultimately come out with some experience from all his minglings with the normal folk and his constituents, his peers. So it would be kind of cool. I'm going to pause the recording right now so hopefully nothing happens to the video. And it's going to be night, so we'll see what happens here. Okay, back with the recording. And we are on the mighty seas at night. What else have I been watching? I recently started watching How I Met Your Mother. They had, like, the first, 5 seasons. I don't know, I forget what season they're on. That's crazy. But they had the first few seasons on Netflix, and I just started watching them as I was, doing editing or art or stuff like that. Just have it on in the background. And I grew to like those characters. But like House, those characters are kind of stagnating too. And I think I heard that they want to go one more season with that show. And I don't see how they're going to possibly do it. At this point, the characters are so sedimentary. They're so cemented into where they are now. I don't see how they're going to continue another season and have them still do things. For instance, they kind of wrapped up, I don't know if you've been watching it, if you know the characters, but there's a character Ted and this character Robin. And in the first episode, the first time Ted met Robin, he said, "I think I love you." And that got kind of rejected for the first season. And then by the end of the second season, or by the beginning of the second season, it picked up with them again, and they dated for the whole season and realized that their lives were going to be going in different directions. And that was fine. And then she and the other character, Barney Stinson, who's probably my favorite character in there, because he is unique. He and Robin hooked up for a little while, and basically everything went back and forth. In this last episode, the previous to the last episode, Ted once again sees that Robin is free, and he is free of a relationship, and he goes, "Well, I can accept you not having and wanting children, and because I still love you." And at that moment, I facepalmed, but I realized for them to do that sort of thing over again would be suicide for the television show. Luckily, they resolved it the next episode. They kind of cliffhangered you with that premise. Oh god, there is an earthquake somewhere to the west. So they kind of cliffhangered that, and then resolved it the next show where they didn't end up together. And at that point, you realize that was the last time that... What direction am I facing? Let me let it catch up here. Alright. Now, of course, correct. I'm drifting more and more to the east every episode, which is fine. Yeah, I lose a little bit of time by going in that direction. I am lagging here. And there it goes. It pops back up. So anyway, more and more they are it looks like they are pushing towards a finale this season, because if they do not wrap it up this season, there is not much Ted as a character can do. In fact, not much. The other couple, I can't remember their names now, with Allison Hannigan and the other guy. There's not much they can do because they're pretty much settling into their lives. So I'm just wondering if they're going to go for another season, what are they going to do? And Neil Patrick Harris has stated he wants to kind of move away from the show. You know, he doesn't want to be a part of it anymore. It's run its course. He wants to do something else. And without Barney, that show just really falls apart because he is the antithesis of every one of those characters. And I don't even think he's going to end up with Robin as much as many people think he will. As much as many people will think that he will. So, that's that. And then, I don't know if you've caught Raising Hope. This show is worth watching, I think. It is about a guy who, unluckily, but by chance, I should say, much to his dismay, he goes out for ice cream for his mother one night, and he finds this girl running away from this man, and they end up doing things, and the next morning they learn that she's a murderer on the run from the law, a serial killer on the run from the law. So they put her in jail, and then she learns she's pregnant from the one night that they spent together. And she has the baby, and that's when they execute her, and he's left to raise the kid. It was kind of a cool premise. But the characters are so out there. Martha Plimpton is probably one of the funniest people I've ever seen. Worth watching. I would definitely catch it if you have the chance. So do that. What else am I watching? Grimm? Is anybody watching me? No. The show Grimm seems interesting, but they need to... Right now, it's just kind of the problem of the week going on with it, with little bits of kind of mainline story thrown in. But I think they need to cement that show together with a more overhanging storyline. I think they really need to dig deep with that storyline, because there's a lot of rich kind of material that they can use from the Grimm fairy tales, and it's awesome. If you've never read the Grimm fairy tales, do it. Good stuff. And that's basically what it's based on. Basically what it's based. Yeah. Let's use redundant words today, Gary. So yeah, I think that's a pretty good show. It's been worth following. I've been watching The River. I just started watching that kind of loosely. And I'm not sure what to think of it. I think they want to create Lost without it being lost. And kind of create this background mystery where everybody kind of knows what they're talking about, but they don't let you in on the facts, basically. Unreliable kind of character testimony point of view. So I'm not sure what to think of it. And it is creepy, but I don't think I would watch it for the creepiness, because I've seen enough creepiness to last me a lifetime. When I used to do horror comics, I used to go into horror and alternate reality stuff, and wow, we were really on the ocean here. So yeah, I'll watch it for a little bit longer. But it's like, what was that show where I can't remember the name of it now. Right now, it involved some sort of kind of human-like, unhuman humans where they were coming from some alternate dimension or time or something like that. Not the 4400, who were people lost in time, which was an interesting episode until they made the series out of it. But, what was the name of it? Flash Forward, I think? And I was like, okay, this is another kind of mysterious show, you know, some sort of weird thing going on, but it just turned out horrible. So, hopefully the river will be a little bit better. I don't know. The problem is you have to hook me in with the characters right away, and none of the characters really kind of stick with me. I could look at all these characters, and after 4 episodes, I don't remember a single character. I don't remember any of their personalities, you know. The only thing I remember is that their mom wants to go find the dad who got himself lost, which is not a character trait. And she seems to, and they seem all to be adaptable to this supernatural crap that's going on, which amazes me. All of them. They're like, well, we just lived a life in, you know, the city, and, you know, we're kind of naturalists, and all through it, you know, the father on his recordings is, there's magic out there. And they were always kind of like, haha, that's great, Dad. And all of a sudden, they've become accepting of these spirits and native rituals and stigmatisms and like just these all up out of the.
You may well decide whether mankind is bettered or destroyed by the products of science.